You're joining me today for the final of my 2025 bracket to work out which is the best player's distance iron for average swing speed mid-handicap golfers just like me. And in this final, we've got two irons that have done a great job of battling their way through the bracket. The underdog, the Wilson DYNAPWR Forged, the value offering that looks fantastic and feels great, versus the iron that created the player's distance category in the beginning, the TaylorMade P790. So let's put them through their paces on TrackMan, allocate some points and work out which of these irons are going to be crowned my winner for 2025. Let's get stuck in. Right, before we start hitting shots, I just want to tell you my point scoring criteria in case you're new to my bracket series and this is the first time you're watching one of these videos. Now, I want to try and make this ranking as objective as I possibly can, but as it's my scoring and me trying to work out my favourite iron, I will sprinkle in just a small percentage of subjectivity at the end, but I will stop before I do that to determine which is the objective winner if you prefer your point scoring allocated purely in that way. So how are we going to do that? Well, what we're going to do is hit a batch of shots with both these irons back to back on TrackMan, and we're going to allocate 7 of the 10 points based on the performance of these two irons from the two batches of shots that I capture in a second. We're then going to allocate an additional point based on the price point of both these irons in the UK at the time of filming this video, and those 8 points out of 10 will be our objective metrics. We'll then add in 2 subjective points, one for looks and one for feels and sounds, because so many of you asked my opinion in the comments, so I want to just add that in for you for those of you that do want to consider that as well, because I think no matter what we say, we all do apply a little bit of subjectivity when we're picking the clubs that we buy in all of our custom fittings, and that comes out really, really clearly when I read the comments from you guys. Now, the final thing I want to say is this is just a little bit of fun. It's designed to help golfers like me watching this type of content on YouTube, so it isn't for me to say that this is definitely the right answer, and as I will touch on in my video, if we weren't doing a bracket based on all the testing I've done throughout this series, I definitely think we might have seen a couple of different irons make their way into the final, and there are 4 or 5 really credible options on the market, and we'll talk about them a little bit later. Right, for now, let's set up the test and let's start hitting those shots. What a glorious golf shot that is. Again, straight away picking this club back up, it just feels absolutely fantastic. And there we go, straight away, just my second shot of the day, and you can see that I've got 80 mile an hour of club head speed, 112 of ball speed, 160.8 yards of carry, totaling at 173 off a shot that's quite straight, spinning at 4.8, launch at 21.5, 98 feet of peak height. I always say when I'm in the 90s, it's a good sign. We sometimes try and seek that magic 100 feet, and landing at 48 degrees. They're just great numbers, and you can see there it's quite a middled strike, a fraction low on the face, but a middled strike, and that's very typical of me. I'm always a slightly low strike player. I'm going to be honest, it's the second shot I've hit all day. It's going to be hard to beat those numbers, really is. Oh my God, that's even better. That's just outrageous. It's a tiny bit right of target. It's hard to tell always here. We have TrackMan on normalized, so the pictures and the screenshots I'll be showing you are the normalized ball flight, but we are right by the coast where I live in Portsmouth, and the sea is about 150 yards to my left, so the wind is just coming off of that. Always seems to want to move the ball on the driving range to the right. You might be able to see some of the flags in the background. But look at that there, club head speed 81.4, that might be the fastest 7-iron club head speed I've hit. 113 mile an hour of ball speed, carrying at 160.4, totaling 171.5, spinning at 5.1, a really good spin rate. That launch crept up a little bit to 22. We got already over that magic 100 feet of peak height with 103 feet, and we're landing at 49.7. Some really strong numbers there, and we're only 3 shots in with the Wilson. There's another. Absolutely pure. This Wilson feels great. It's deserving of its place in the final. It really, really is. What have we got there? 80.1 mile an hour club head speed, ball speed at 112, carrying at 159.4, totaling at 171, spin again at 5,000, launch, I think we've had 3 out of the 4 shots so far today at 21.4 or 21.5, 98 feet of peak height, landing at 48 degrees. Just beautiful. Fraction out the heel though. Pulley. It's another great strike. It's just pulled massively down the right hand side, so we'd expect to see all the numbers jump up from that last one. Yeah, look at that, 113 of ball speed off nearly 81 mile an hour club head, carrying at 160, 172 total. Really good spin rate for that pull draw though, at 5,300, launching at 19, a little bit lower, peak high a little bit lower, land angle a little bit lower because of that delivery on my part. Actually there, it was just a case that the face was really shut down. Oh my God. I think I've saved the best batch of shots with this iron for the final. These definitely feel like my best that I've hit it. 80 mile an hour club head speed, 111 of ball speed, 160 carry, 173 total, spinning at 4.8, launching at 21, peak height 95 feet, land angle 48, like incredibly consistent as well. We can definitely see that on the good strikes, the numbers are very, very consistent time and time again. Oh my God, such a golf shot. Just that baby draw that I want to see. It feels so good, this golf club, it really does. Every single strike just feels fantastic off of it. Look at that, that's come out of the heel and it still felt amazing. 112 of ball speed, 159 of carry, 170 total, spinning at 5063, launch at 21, 97 feet of peak height, 48 of land angle. Couple more with this iron, but already it's delivered a data set that for me is worthy of its place in this final and just showing once again what it's capable of. God, there was some serious intent on that on my part. 80.8 mile an hour of club head speed. Ball speed at 114 is absolutely massive. 164 carry, 176 total, spinning at 4.9, 20.9 of launch, 99.6 feet of peak height, 48 degrees of land angle. Ah, the face has just stayed absolutely level with the path there. Dead straight push down the left, but it felt awesome. Yeah, look at that. I think that's a great one to finish on because, like I say, normally when I push it down the left-hand side, that's when you lose the distance. What we've actually seen there is I've delivered 113 of ball speed from a flush-centered strike and got 161 of carry, which is just a really long 7-iron for me. Again, I appreciate I am swinging it a little bit faster at the moment. I'm not adjusting yet my yardage, but high 150s is what I would expect with these swing speeds. Spinning at 5,000, launching at 21.6. We've got over 100 feet, 101 feet and 2 inches, and landing at 49. Right, done hitting shots with the Wilson DYNAPWR Forged. A really impressive iron once again, and I'm really pleased with how I've been able to hit it today and some of the numbers we've been able to capture with it, because hopefully it's demonstrated to you guys why it's deserved its place in the final and why it is just such a fantastic option in the players distance market because of its performance and its price. But let's flip over to the TaylorMade P790 now. I'm hitting it quite good today. We've got the same shaft, my favorite, the KBS Tour Light, in both these irons today. This could be really interesting. Let's see what happens with that TaylorMade. Lost my balance a little bit there, but first one out the gate with the P790, and the first noticeable thing is just how loopy that ball flight is. Really felt like it launched high, stayed high, and then landed. Now, the numbers there in terms of launch angle, peak height, land angle, don't say a lot different to what we saw out the Wilson, so it was obviously just a visual thing, and that's why we capture this data. But 80 mile an hour club head speed, ball speed at 111, carrying at 157, totaling 167, spinning at 5248, really good off a slightly thin strike, launching at 21.6, 98 feet of peak height, 49 of land angle. So high launching. Just started that on target, bit of me, bit of wind has just moved over to the right hand side. And look at those numbers, 111.5 of ball speed, 159 of carry, spinning at 4.9, launching at 22.7, peak height 103 feet. So easy to get this golf club in the air, landing at 49.7. Although if you hit it like that, whew, that is hard to beat. Again, just started on target and has just moved off it. The ball flight's outrageous, it absolutely is. Look at that, 114 of ball speed, carrying at 160, outrageous, spinning at 5244. It's launched 1 degree higher. That time we could see it, 107 feet of peak height. I said when I filmed my review of these, they made me feel like Rory McIlroy because of how high he hits it. There's your evidence, 107 feet of peak height, landing at 51 degrees with a 7-iron. That's like outrageous stopping power, right? Just a shame. It's still in the air. It's only just come down. So much hang time on this golf ball. 114 of ball speed off of a pull draw, 164 carry. Spinning at 5,000 though on a pull draw is really, really good. Launched at 21 degrees. It still went 99 feet in the air off of a pull draw and landing at 48.4. Oh, there's the golf shot. Put them in the bag. 113.7 of ball speed, 162 of carry. It's just good, isn't it? Like, These are exciting for me, right? Doing a bit of speed training at the moment. This is great to see some good numbers as well, a little bit of extra distance. 5122 of spin, launching at 22, 106 or 105 and a half feet of peak height, landing at 50 degrees off a slightly heeled strike. Oh my God. I've said that a few times, but when you watch the ball come off the face like that, and it looks like that ball flight, and it feels like it does out of the middle, it's hard not to get excited. 157 of carry, sorry, 112 of ball speed, 157 of carry, 167.5 total, 5352 of spin, launching at 23.4, 109 feet of peak height, 52 degrees of land angle off of a very good centered strike. We'll end it there, shall we? 115 of ball speed, 164 carry, 175 total, spinning at 5145, 22.3 of peak height, nearly 110 feet in the air, landing at 51 degrees. This is going to be really interesting when we go home and look at the data, because feels wise, I prefer the Wilson, but there's some really interesting numbers in this in terms of launch windows, and I am someone who struggles to get the ball in the air, so I do get excited when I see good launches, good peak heights, good land angles. This is going to be really interesting. Let's go home, let's start dissecting that data, let's start allocating some points. Right, time to deep dive into all of the data from both those batches of shots. And the first thing that's worth just reminding ourselves is the TaylorMade P790 is a 30-degree 7-iron, whilst the Wilson DYNAPWR Forged is a 30.5-degree 7-iron. So we've got an additional 0.5 degree of loft on that Wilson, but otherwise the two clubs were the same, including the same shaft. Now, starting on the left-hand side, you'll see that with 0.7 mile an hour less club head speed on average, the TaylorMade P790 did deliver 0.9 mile an hour more ball speed and therefore a slightly higher smash factor, so it is the slightly faster club in this test. Now, just to show you my strike location, the thing that maybe makes that a little bit more impressive is you can see that actually there's a little bit less consistency with my strike location with the P790, with a couple of extra shots out towards the toe versus a slightly better, albeit slightly thinner, strike location with the Wilson DYNAPWR Forged. Spin rates were circa 250 RPM higher with the P790 at 5196, despite it having that little bit less loft. However, the DYNAPWR Forged is still one of the highest spinning irons that I've tested in the player's distance category, and that's no surprise given it's made its way into the final. Both these irons do deliver a really strong ball flight, but the TaylorMade P790 did deliver the slightly higher, loopier ball flight that we spoke about in the bay, with 1.4 degrees more launch angle, 8.5 feet of additional peak height, and 2.6 degrees steeper land angle, so a load of stopping power from this iron. Now, part of the reason for that, as you'll see here, is that all of the shots with the TaylorMade P790 as a left-hander started down the left and either stayed down the left or just turned back onto target, whereas there is 2 or 3 shots with the DYNAPWR Forged that you can see that I pull hooked a little bit out to the right-hand side and they've just launched a little bit lower, so that is contributing to some of the numbers that you're seeing. When it comes to carry distance, the Wilson DYNAPWR Forged was 0.1 yards longer on average at 160.3 yards. However, the slightly higher spinning and steeper landing P790 does stop 1.6 yards quicker. And just to show that dispersion circle from the top, you can see that actually front to back it is a little bit tighter with the DYNAPWR Forged, but it is consistently tighter left to right with the P790. So that brings me really nicely onto my scoring. Now, the thing that I'll say before I go through the scoring is the numbers from the DYNAPWR Forged are seriously impressive, but I am having to score these two irons versus each other on the day, and that will contribute to some of the numbers that you're about to see. So when it comes to performance, I've given the DYNAPWR Forged 5.5 out of 7 versus 7 out of 7 for the TaylorMade P790. I think the P790 has won across all of the categories. It's slightly faster, slightly higher spinning, a better ball flight, and it's exactly the same distance but stops a little bit quicker. But like I say, as a standalone set of numbers, if I was reviewing the DYNAPWR Forged, I'd be absolutely raving about how good those numbers are, because it is seriously impressive. When it comes to price, there's just no comparison. The DYNAPWR Forged is about 2/3 the price of the TaylorMade P790 in the UK at the time of filming this video, and it is one of the best value sets of irons available on the market today, and I would actively encourage anyone, based on my reviews, how it's performed through this bracket, to give them a test, because you could save yourself an absolute packet. They are a brilliant iron at a fantastic price point. In terms of feels and sounds, I've given the DYNAPWR Forged the point in terms of that. It feels absolutely fantastic out in the middle. I love how soft the face feels. And if you are someone who likes that feeling in your irons, you'll definitely prefer the DYNAPWR Forged. The reason I've still given half a point to the P790 is I do love how consistent it feels across the face, no matter if you hit it out the toe, out the center, out the heel. It does feel very, very similar, and that does inspire a lot of confidence to a mid-handicap golfer, that you can feel the same sort of feedback no matter where you strike the club. In terms of looks, again, I've given the full point to the P790. I think in terms of bag appeal, in terms of how it looks in your hand and down at address, it really does suit my eye. The reason I've still given the DYNAPWR Forged half a point is I do think down at address is absolutely stunning and absolutely suits my eye. The one thing I do think, and I've spoken about this a few times in the bracket, that little bit of technology on the sole, I wish it was hidden away because I don't think they look as nice when they're in your golf bag. So what does that mean overall? Well, I've got the TaylorMade P790 at 8.5 points versus 8 with the Wilson DYNAPWR Forged. Now, if you are looking at this completely objectively, you would just take the scores from those first two parts of the video and you would still see that I had the TaylorMade winning by half a point. However, what I would say is, like I've touched on through this scoring section, you could buy the Wilson DYNAPWR Forged and be incredibly happy with them because they're a fantastic price point with brilliant performance, and I think they've just lost out to probably the best all-rounder in this category. So congratulations to the TaylorMade P790. You are my winner of the best players distance iron for 2025 for average swing speed mid-handicap golfers. Commiserations to the Wilson. The one thing I do think you've proved is that you are an incredibly credible option in the players distance category, and you are the best value players distance iron available on the market. So if you're looking for a great performing iron at a fantastic price, you have to put that iron on your test list. A couple of other notable mentions. The Strixon ZXi5 is without a doubt one of the best players distance irons that I've ever tested. It narrowly lost out to the P790 in its semi-final, and I really could have gone back and looked at that data on a different day and made a slightly different decision. That's how close that semi-final was, so definitely recommend people give that a test. Equally, if you want a really superb feeling players distance iron, please do test the Mizuno JPX925 Forged. I think alongside the Wilson is the best feeling iron, particularly out the center of the face, so if that's really important to you, make sure you put that on your test list too. Now, all that's left for me to say is if you've got some value out of this video and you'd like to return the favour, then all you need to do is hit that thumbs up button. That lets YouTube know that golfers just like you may be interested in watching my video. Equally, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, there's a button coming up on screen for you right now. If you press that, you'll subscribe to my channel and get notified of all my videos as they land on YouTube every single week, just like Mr. Lance Boyle up here. Thank you so much for your support, Mr. Boyle. I really do appreciate it. All that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.